What is going on, guys? How are you doing today? Hopefully you guys are having a good day and are doing well. What I have for you today in this video is not something from an article that I read. This is my thoughts about what happened at Microsoft's most recent event when they were talking about additional projects that they were working on in order to add into their Windows 10 operating system to make it more user-friendly for the consumer out there before its official release throughout the year. So I do have my iPhone right here because I do have some quick points that I want to talk about just so I don't miss anything out there. So if you see me look down at the screen, you know why, and there's no any confusion or any weirdness that's happening. So without further ado, let's get started. Now first, I want to talk about the upgrades. So Microsoft has mentioned that it's a free upgrade for the first year, for 1 year, alright? And these upgrades go for Windows 7 users and Windows 8.1 users. Now, when I first heard this, I was thinking, I was not expecting Windows 7 users to have the ability for a free upgrade to Windows 10. Because I would think that the free upgrade would go for Windows 8 and Windows 8.1. But after thinking about it for a while, I was thinking maybe they skip on 8 because they were trying to get all their customers and the whole consumer who has Windows 8 to upgrade to Windows 8.1. Reason for 8.1 is because when apparently a lot of people, when they first saw Windows 8 and they started using it, they did not like it. They didn't have the traditional start button, but if you move your cursor to the lower left hand corner, you're going to get that little box come up, and if you want to switch between the desktop or the start menu, just do it right there. I mean, the button is not visible, but it's still the same thing. And even if you go all the way to the lower left hand corner and right click, you get some of your traditional options out there, such as the command prompt admin, run, well, search, whatever the menu options were. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but they give you a list right there. Now with Windows 8.1, not only does it give you the start button back, but every time you boot into the operating system, it's always booting into the desktop. And with Windows 10, it's bringing back that same traditional start menu that Windows 7 users have been familiar with. And someone that I've talked to recently actually brought up another point, because Microsoft is going to offer this as a free upgrade for those users. Now, does that mean that their Windows 7 product key that they currently have it activated with is also usable in Windows 10? Same thing with their Windows 8.1 product key, if it's usable in Windows 10, or when you actually make the upgrade to Windows 10, that Microsoft will provide you with a brand new key, and then if for some reason you have to reinstall the operating system, then your product key is pretty much useless if you do not have the original operating system disk. And not only that, but after a year is done with Windows 10 being out, there's no more free upgrades. The free upgrades end right there. So that's pretty interesting. Me personally, I don't like the way Microsoft product key system works. I mean, from my understanding with Apple, if you upgrade your OS X operating system, it just goes into your Apple ID and you can install that on multiple Macs, as many Macs as you want. The only thing that I did hear that has a product key was Mac OS X server, which that's understandable because that's more like for the business part. I mean, come on, it is a network operating system, which is a server operating system, just like Windows Server 2008, 2012, and 2003, which is gonna end support pretty soon. But I don't understand how this free upgrade is gonna work. I do have a Windows 7 PC behind me, as you see right there. I'm considering if I want to upgrade to 10. I know I want to because it's gonna be faster, but I got a 5400 RPM hard drive in there. I'm considering if I want to swap that out for a 7200 RPM because there's 750 gigs in there, and I want to upgrade the hard drive to something a little bit smaller because I really don't need 750 gigabytes for my operating system drive. So I would say maybe 320 is good enough. And you guys are probably wondering, what am I going to do with that 750 gigabyte? Well, I'll put it in an external enclosure, use it via USB. And plus, I want 7200 RPM, so that way the boot times is a little bit faster. Now, you guys are probably like, what about an SSD? I'm not sure if I really want to put an SSD in there, so I don't know. I got a lot of thinking to do. More likely, maybe I will upgrade my Sony Vaio to Windows 10. We'll see what happens. So that's what I have to say about the upgrades. While it is awesome, I find it strange at the same time, because Windows 7, I wasn't expecting that. I would think that if you're going to upgrade 7 to 10, you have to reinstall the operating system. Same thing if you wanted Windows 7 on a Windows XP machine. You have to wipe out XP in order to upgrade to 7. Whereas Vista, you can do an in-place upgrade to Windows 7, and then from 7 to 8, but same thing. The next feature Microsoft discussed was Cortana. Now, if you're familiar with this with Apple, hi Siri, who are you?
Who I am isn't important.
Cortana is basically a digital assistant, similar to Apple's Siri, and similar to Google's Voice. But, you know, to me, Cortana is more similar to Siri from the demonstrations that they put out in the event, and I can't determine if that is a lot better than Siri. I would think it is. I do not know, and I'm not 100% sure about it because I've never used Cortana before. Apparently, it was on the current Windows Phone devices. I don't know. I'm just hearing things. I'm not a Windows Phone user, so I can't tell you if it's out there. For those of you guys that use Windows Phone, if you can, please confirm me in the comments just so I know that I'm right, and whichever things I'm wrong in, then I'll be aware of that for next time. So Cortana, great. And with Windows 10 for the phones, they're not going to call it Windows Phone 10 apparently. It's just going to be straight out Windows 10, but a much scaled down version. So that way you can use it on the mobile platform, whether it's the tablet platform or the phones. Alright, next they talk about the Spartan Browser. Now I just heard a podcast today, and apparently the Spartan Browser was already there for Windows Phone 8.1, and the Spartan Browser looks pretty awesome to me. And I've heard some people say that's basically Microsoft's version of Safari. In that case, I don't know how much I like it, because here's the thing. Mobile Safari, to me, I'm not too crazy about it on iOS. I like Safari for the desktop, whether it's PC or Mac. The reason why I stopped using Safari is because there weren't really a lot of updates for websites compatibility with Safari for the desktop on PC. Therefore, I stopped using it. Just like YouTube, like I can't remember exactly what it was, but YouTube was going to stop supporting Safari for PC. I don't know about the Macs, so that's why I stopped using it, and I didn't quite understand that. Maybe some of the features was not there. I wish I remember so I can tell you guys, but unfortunately I don't. As far as gaming is concerned, they're integrating the Xbox operating system into the Windows 10 operating system, or the Xbox One in general. I don't know about Xbox 360. I would think so, because the way you're integrating these two devices together with the Windows 10 operating system is through Xbox Live. If you have an Xbox Live account, then there you go. That's pretty much it. And I just wonder, how are you going to be able to stream your Xbox One games to your Windows 10 device? And I'm not talking about a PC here. I'm talking about a straight-on standard laptop, a mobile phone, or a tablet. Maybe I'm wrong about the phone part at least, if you can't stream it to the phone, but that's not what I thought the first time I saw the event. Because you don't have an actual controller. You have to deal with touch controls, or if you're on a standard laptop, then you got a keyboard. Okay, you might be there, unless if you're not a keyboard gamer. Because I don't know how you're going to play those kinds of games with just a touch display only. I mean, I have trouble playing like a certain game. What was it? The Simpsons for iOS? I forgot the exact name. Not Tapped Out. There was another one, and it had like a digital joystick on there that I had to use a control. And I'm more used to a physical joystick, so I don't see how gaming is going to go well with the tablets unless if it's simple games like Angry Birds, the slot machines, or whatever the case may be. Alright, for me, just simple games. Next is the Surface Hub. 84-inch display. That's more than a TV. But this is not meant for the consumer use. This is more like for the workplace. This is basically a computer that's like the size of a very large TV with more functionality in there, since it's running a PC operating system, or a Windows operating system, Windows 10. And I'm wondering why the workplace would need this. The only time I would think the workplace would need this is if they're a blogger and they're recording themselves in the camera as I am right now, and then they have that screen in the background so that way they can flip-flop screens or slideshows just to show you guys what they're talking about. That's the only reason why I would see why they would get a display like this. And actually, I heard they were supposed to come out with a 55-inch later. So maybe this will be the future of TVs. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Now let's talk about the Hololens. So this is basically like a headset or glasses, whatever it may be, with a visor. And basically, you put the Hololens on and you're in a virtual world. And so if you guys play Minecraft a lot, then you can actually get a Minecraft experience with this device. And then you can actually build things, and then take a block and then move it right around, break blocks, break roots, whatever the case may be. Virtual reality was still a question to me, and I was talking to somebody about this today, and I'm like, what's the virtual reality supposed to be for? Is it mainly for entertainment, or is there a specific purpose? Oh, this is another way of entertainment. And after I think about it, that's probably the case. Do I prefer this kind of entertainment? I don't know right now, because I never played around with virtual reality before. I would have to take these things and then put it on myself just to see if I like it. Is this better than playing video games or playing on the computer? I really don't know. But I could see virtual reality teaching some life lessons too. Such as, what's it like to be a drunk driver? What's it like to, fall or jump out of a helicopter and then put the parachute on? I mean, that's something that I would think that virtual reality could do in terms of life lessons. Now, as far as releases, Microsoft hasn't announced any official releases yet, because all these projects that I've mentioned, these are still in current builds. So Microsoft is still working on them, and if you happen to get your hands on the build and you want to test out the operating system and give Microsoft some feedback, expect some bugs that they're going to have to address and fix. Don't expect your operating system to run as smoothly as you are running your current Windows 7, Windows 8.1 operating system. I hope you're running it smoothly. If not, hopefully you might want to check if you have a virus or not, or if something went wrong with your hardware. I don't know. But that's pretty much what I have to say about Windows 10, their new projects or their new builds that they're working to add into Windows 10. What do you guys think about Windows 10 so far? Do you think it's going to be a killer operating system? What about Windows 10 versus Mac OS 10 Yosemite? I mean, which one would you prefer? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait for the next build to come out. I have been using Windows Technical Preview. I'm ready for this next build and test it out. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.